Okay, there we go. So yeah, I was gonna say this map is not very standard, but it is a good German map because you have lots of gold in base for sure, and there's some trading posts. But yeah, so guys, here we go in this game one of the last series of the day, which is Mitoe against iamturk in the EPL week two. This is a week two out of 3 weeks of the EPL, and then after the third week we will have the playoffs. But this is the second week, so we're pretty much in the middle of the event at the moment. And so far, I think it's been quite an enjoyable event. The format is refreshing. And so, yeah, here we go. Saving EP recorded game. And here we have, on the right of the map, Mitoe playing in the color teal as France. Gonna proceed to directly scout the map with a boss of his scouts. Obviously, France starting with an extra native scout. And this is a wood start, which means that he will probably go looking for a trading post. And on the other side of the map, we have Turk playing in the color blue as Germany. And he's also gonna look for a trading post there. So there's kind of two ways to do it on this map. This is the optimal TP in terms of XP. Like building your TP here assures you to get your XP as early as possible so that you can ship your 3 villagers or 2 settler wagon shipment earlier. However, if you go on top here, you might not get the XP. You actually do not get the XP, but you also send your explorer on the part of the map which has all the treasures. Like along the water is where all the treasures spawn on this map. You can see, I mean, the big ones. Here you have like level 1 treasures, like some small stuff, some small coin, which is not exactly what you want. While Mitoe just scouted already a 90 wood and might even find a 100 food behind. So that's sort of a trade-off. You can either go for the XP and the quick villages, or you can go for the treasures. So I don't even know which one is really the best, but I think both are viable options. What can we say? I think Mitoe got 50 wood, didn't he? Yeah, so that was quite lucky. He actually picked up the best small treasure he could find here. There's like other stuff which is not exactly interesting. Why that 50 would just help Mitoe so much towards building his trading post. But unfortunately for Mitoe, it looks like Turk is gonna come and deny the treasure. Turk being kind of known for doing that. that is not gonna be too good for Mitoe. At least he has his house up already, so it's not like he will be housed. But yeah, Turk is gonna get the treasure. He is gonna maybe kill Mitoe's explorer. Probably. I mean, it's so low HP. He doesn't even need to snare at this point. If he can just get to shoot, it's anyway gonna die. So that is pretty good for Turk here. Getting the 90 wood, killing Mitoe's explorer. Mitoe gonna try to pull away, but it's the explorer is just too low HP really. So yeah, the only good thing for Mitoe so far is that he got the 50 wood before he had to build his house, while iamturk had to chop a whole 100 wood for the house, while Mitoe had to chop only 50 wood. So it's still gonna help him towards his age up. You can see he's a bit ahead compared to iamturk. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just good for Turk because he killed the explorer, he got the 45 XP, he got 90 wood, and he also got on top of that 20 coin and 50 gold. So he's he's looking in quite a solid spot for the H1, and also going to be able to treasure that 100 food as a result of having the whole map for himself. And yeah, Mitoe is just has been talking about retiring for a while, and he's like, yeah, it's still an option because, well, he just has such a poor H1 at this point. Maybe not the greatest micro for Mitoe either. Could have tried to kite a little bit better so that at least if your treasure gets stolen, you don't die. But yeah, losing the explorer is rough. He's gonna pick it up at some point, but it's not ready quite yet. You need 100 HP on that guy so that it goes up again. Either way, still okay. I mean, it's not GG or something, just a good start for Turk, but you know, well, we'll see what Mitoe can do at this point. He still has his native scout, which is very important to figure out what your opponent is going to do. And what is the opponent doing? Indeed, he's getting hunting dogs. He's dropped the market in transition, so very standard stuff so far. We expect to see Placer mines coming in any second now, and probably just gonna gather the standard 125 wood and then switch his villagers to the coin. He might have forgotten about it. Maybe he's going for an extra 100 wood, but you really don't. Oh, okay, he's shopping for walls, which I guess is never really bad on this map. It's just so easy to wall up the chokes. It's one of the features of the map. But kind of surprising in this matchup maybe, because if anything you'd expect France to wall up, because France is kind of slower, but they have a bit of a better eco, better units, so they would benefit more from having walls and stretching it a little bit to later game. Also, Germany has more raiding potential, so I'm not really sure France wants to raid Germany anyway, right? Because Germany will have more cav and will be able to defend the raids. Either way, that's an interesting wall, so Turk dropped that. Mitoe will spot it. And what is Mitoe doing on his end? He has only 25 wood banked. That might be because he's got steel traps on the way already. Okay, so... Turk's been working on that. No, he hasn't been actually, but he might start working on that gold treasure here. And maybe even pick it up with the 2 Ulans, or just crackshot it slowly. But Mitoe spotted it, in fact. So he might just sneak his Explorer here or something and just wait for Turk to crackshot the second one and then just pick it up himself. Native's got in stealth mode in front of the wall, which is kind of strange because there's not much to see here. Might as well have it on the other choke because that's where Turk's units are gonna go, or here. Not through this wall, right? Either way, 2 Ulans going forward to raid. Mitoe has a stable. He's kind of hidden it. It's not right in his base, which is a little bit more dangerous, but at the same time might be resulting in Mitoe mind gaming Turk, because Turk might not know about the stable. But I don't think Turk has even scouted at all anyway, so it probably doesn't really matter. Either way, Turk doesn't know what's up. And Mitoe has hussars in queue, so it's not a fake stable. Well, I mean, it would be weird anyway to have a fake stable if you're hiding it in a corner. Mitoe just training 2 hussars. That's really interesting. So you might be like, yeah, well, that's weird, right? Why do you want to train just 2 huss? But I think it's just because he wants to deal with the 2 Ulans and age up very early. So now he can even still sort of defend with Minutemen. Needs to be careful not to lose a CDB. He is going to lose a CDB, which is not ideal. Might lose more. No, he's pulling them back. I still feel like 5 huss would have been better here, because with 5 huss he would totally defend that. But yeah, Mitoe trying to age, just yeah, sort of saving the resources he could have spent on hussars to just like help him age up, but it might actually make it sort of harder for him to age up, just because these Ulans are gonna idle him so much. And losing another CDB there, and 1 Ulan gonna snare his huss, although it's instantly gonna die, so that's pretty good for Mitoe. But yeah, losing 2 CDBs, getting idled so much, is not really worth. It's not really worth it. I feel like 5 hussars would have done a much better job of holding here. And yeah, Mitoe's forcing it, just popping more CDBs. Now gonna proceed to age. While to be fair, Turk is quite far from aging up himself, because he went for 700 wood. He's stacking quite a lot of resources. Oh, and Mitoe did not pay attention here, so Turk will get the treasure. Kind of too busy just fighting in his base, which is understandable, I guess. Gonna lose another CDB. So Mitoe is quite a bit behind. He also didn't train vills. I'm pretty sure Mitoe has stopped training CDBs because he needed the food for the age up. So he's quite a bit behind Turk at this point in terms of economy. And Turk has mismacroed a lot. He shipped 700 gold while also gathering all the resources, which is not exactly what you want to do. Should have saved the shipment at this point, but either way, he's in a commanding position, I believe. Been able to idle so much, kill, I believe 3 or maybe 4 CDBs? 4, and has lost a bunch of Ulans, but was a good trade for him for sure. And Mitoe's gonna be barely... He's gonna be up barely any earlier than Turk at this point. So I think this is pretty much GG. I mean, Turk has a couple 3 Ulans out. He's got a better eco. He's gonna be up. Is Mitoe aging up slow? Oh, that is why. I kind of dislike the slow age, just because you really want to abuse the fact that you're up earlier. Like he would have had some window to pressure Turk quite a lot if he just if he just aged earlier and ship the goons and just be aggressive, but in fact he's aging slow. Maybe with 4 hussars, maybe because he's trained more Haas, so maybe the plan was like to age up with 4 Haas and get veterancy on them or something like that. Yeah, that is the plan. He didn't age with the skirms, but I kind of question that just because, yeah, Mitoe ends up being up later with some hussars, but not exactly enough hussars to make anything happen. A really bad eco, and even getting veterancy for these hussars is going to be a pain. Is going to be really painful. He might not want to get them to veteran, but then I kind of question aging up with 4 hussars if you're not going to upgrade them. I guess it does allow him to ship 5 dragoons and train 5 dragoons and have some sort of timing with the hussars to snare and block and tank, and the dragoons in the back to snipe the Uhlans. But I really question if that's enough. And in fact, he's going for 1k wood, which is again, I don't know about that. I mean, he's so far behind. I don't know if 1k wood is a great idea here. You're going for Jaeger's first card, which is interesting. I guess it kind of made sense because he just mismacroed so much with his 700 gold that he kind of had to ship Merc's first card to spend the gold. Despite it being a little bit slower, just because you have to wait an extra 20 seconds for your Mercs to come on the field, still was a good way to spend that extra gold he stacked. And it makes a lot of sense. And Mitoe is going for double stable, actually. So, yeah, I mean, if he gets like 10 queers out, he's going to totally clean this up. But it's going to be tough with his eco. Even with 1k gold, I don't really know how many units he's going to get. He's got 4 queers. That could be a scary pop for sure. If Turk doesn't bring more war wagons. And that native scout was also in position to spot the Jaegers crossing the map. So that is why Mitoe is training queers, because he did scout them. He did scout these Jaegers and he adapted it by just training queers. That does need houses now. Walling up a little bit on top. Also picked up the villager treasure, which is nice. But yeah, 3 war wagon shipment, so it's starting to be a lot of them, especially because Turk is also training 3 war wagons, probably gonna pop 4 war wagons, and that is a lot of them, and I'm not sure. I mean, it's definitely enough to deal with the queers at this point. So Mitoe does need something more. Even dragoons isn't exactly gonna be enough. He kind of needs like 20 skirms at this point to just snipe the war wagons, but he doesn't have that. And I don't think Mitoe is ever gonna be able to win this fight. So we'll see how it goes though. But yeah, it's go time for Turk. He's got a lot of war wagons, a lot of skirms because he's got the Jaegers, and Mitoe is gonna go. He kind of has to fight, but and maybe call Minutemen, but really, is it gonna be enough? I think these war wagons alone can kind of just deal with this entire army, and with the Jaegers behind, it's not gonna be close. Although Turk's war wagons kind of in an awkward spot, but yeah, Mitoe's resigned because this is over. So that makes it 1-0 for iamturk. Kind of a strange game, to be honest. Quite one-sided, and just Mitoe going for a weird build, and just, I mean, yeah, losing too many CDVs, getting idled too much, like hoping to hold with 2 hussars is just kind of optimistic, really. Could have been just fine with 5 Haas, I think. So what can we look at? Yeah, the idle time by these Uhlans was absolutely huge. Like, just been idled so much here. And yeah, losing just too many bills. Then not retraining bills all this time because needed to age up, so he needed to keep the food to age, and then also not training CDBs either, just because he's aging up for all this time with a slow age. So all this resulting in France having a terrible eco pretty much, and just not really able to match the German mass at all after that. So yeah, out 1-0 for iamturk. So we're going into game 2, and now it's going to be Iowa. And iamturk has to pick first. So it's not winner pick first. It's alternated, and always the same player has to pick, regardless of the result. The team Nila Ninjas, so that's iamturk's team, has to pick first in game 2, and then it's alternating every game. So Mitoe will have to pick first in the next game, for instance. Ah, I get it. Okay, so I think Mitoe wanted to train only 2 hussars because he saw the wall with his native scout, and he was believing that iamturk is just going for naked FF or something. So he didn't expect to have to fight more than 2 Ulans at first and then 4. And he just yeah, got kind of mind gamed by that wall. And so that's why he went for only 2 hussars and then got idled all the time. So it looks like we're gonna have Otto from iamturk, which is a good pick on this map. But it can still be countered by Sue pretty hard, I believe. So we'll wait and see what Mitoe picks to counter that. I really believe Sue is a great counter to Otto, especially on Iowa, because on this map you can get so many natives. There's a lot of native treasures on the map, and lots of renegados as well, so you can get really a nice army in H1. Just make sure you kill the explorer so that he probably won't be able to build more than the first trading post if you get nats. And also deny a front base. And yeah, we do have Mitoe going for Sue. I wasn't really sure if he would pick it because it's a great counter pick, but Mitoe isn't exactly famous for his Sue gameplay. He does play Sue, but it's not one of his main CFs by any means. But he does go for it, so that's interesting. So yeah, this is 1-0 for iamturk so far. And we're now going into game 2 of this series, the Play All 5 series between the Nila Ninjas, the boss champions actually, the champion of the Nila Ninjas being iamturk, and the champion of Mandarin Duck Squad being Mitoe. And that is going to be Sue against Ottomans on Iowa. I have to check for the hunts because this map is known to have sort of funky spawns, let's say. But it does look good on the mini-map so far. I think it's pretty even. So there's a deer hunt and there's a deer hunt. And about the gold mines, it's quite even as well. I think this is as good as it gets. So yeah, we can proceed to playing that game. And yeah, as I said, there's just so many natives, especially tomahawks. So already 2 of them here. Mitoe knows he has to just abuse that against Otto to get like a great start. So he's just gonna pick up a tomahawk straight off the bat, and that is gonna be huge in this matchup. But yeah, so it was a wood start, which is I don't really know who it favors. It's nice for Otto because you do get your mask on top of the trading post, and that mask is pretty good. It's more than half a trading post itself. But Sue can also build 2 TPs or build a trading post, maybe even. However, Mitoe decided to leave the wood on the floor, so it looks like, in my opinion, this means he will go for a Warhat play most likely. Like, Mitoe doesn't intend to go too greedy or something. I think he will just use this wood for a Warhat, and that's why he wants to keep it. I might be wrong though, but I don't really see why else he wouldn't use this wood just yet. So it's we'll have to see. So already 2 tomahawks and a pirate for Sue here. And he tries to find the explorer. He knows it should be somewhere close to the TP line still. does find the 95 wood though, so he's gonna go back and not gonna find this treasure that he could have stolen and he could have killed iamturk. So Mitoe's gonna go back there and get the wood, because then he might just gather that up and build a trading post, essentially for free. He should have probably a convertibility here, so he's gonna get a renegado as well as 95 wood, so that's a great pickup for Mitoe. Although the 80 food was also very nice for Otto, because Otto just has only 8 vills right now, so 80 food is actually a lot at this point towards your age up. Like it makes a big difference. It's not like when you're friends and you're on 14 CDBs or something like that, and you get 80 food at the end of your age 1. Here, the 80 food matters really a lot. It's probably worth a good 10 or almost 15 seconds of age up. So yeah, Otto clicking up quite early. Gonna be up around 3:45 or something like that. Mitoe not clicking up yet, which is kind of normal for Sue at this point. He will go for a 15 age up, which is standard. And probably age up without idle time at 3 minutes. And yeah, so now I think Mitoe just wants to find the Auto Explorer, make sure he can deny any sort of anything really, trading post, front base, or just kill the Explorer anyway. But it looks like Turk is gonna go for a native play, which kind of surprises me, because I could understand if you go for natives if you build the Inca settlement, which gives you sort of pikemen, which are arguably good against Sioux, but I'm not sure this cavalry here is any good against Sioux at all. So kind of surprising there. However, it is gonna go up. Mitoe is not gonna deny it. So he's just gonna focus on getting that build treasure, which is really nice, but at least Turk will be able to execute his plan. So now he's gonna be up. And it might be a fake rush and just get the bisons. It might be a fake Inca rush, because Mitoe would just assume it's the Inca settlement, maybe. He's definitely not training units right now though, so it's definitely not a Lakota rush, because that doesn't really make much sense. He does have the native treaties card in his deck, which will give him something like 3 free Lakotas and also some free Incas if he grabs an Inca training post. Also got the cheaper natives. Wait. So the UI is bugged. The UI cannot see when you're training units from that native post for some reason, because they didn't show units in queue, or maybe I'm just blind. I don't know. Either way, he does go for Lakotas, which is very surprising. But yeah, yeah, that card is surprising. But well, it's probably not gonna come into play anyway. Like, there's never a point in Supremacy, I believe, where you can send that card. But well. And so now Mitoe is gonna see that. But he does have a couple units to deal with them. A Renegado, his really tanky Explorer, and 2 anti-cav units. Even though they're not the greatest, they're sitting in TP, so they have more than 200 HP, and a Pirate as well. This is just insane. And that Pirate being focused by iamturk, which is not what you want now, because that guy is tanking just so much. This is essentially 700 HP worth of melee HP, I mean. Something like that. And Mitoe will probably lose the Explorer, but meanwhile just killing already like a few of these cav. Well, we can't see it in the UI. Again, this unit doesn't exist on T80 usually, so I guess that's why you can't see it. But he did lose something like 3 or 4 of them. And meanwhile the Tomahawks are still dealing some damage, so these guys are sort of MVP at this point. And I kind of question what these Lakotas have really achieved so far, and now Boraida's just popping. Gonna kill only 1 low HP Lakota, so not a huge pop there, but definitely pushing back the pressure. And Turk going for 3 Huss as well, which again I kind of don't understand, because he saw the stable, right? Which is Lakotas, he saw them, so should know that, like, you don't really want to ship 3 Huss, but either way, he's gonna get, he does have a couple Huaminkas and also maybe 3 Boldas or something, somewhere. Yeah, he didn't really see them though, but he's got 3 of them here. And it's gonna be funny because we're gonna see Axe Riders against Axe Riders now. Lakota Axe Riders, which are kind of the vanilla version of the Cheyennes, which are, I mean, the Lakotas on vanilla were basically the Sioux. Like they would get a big button, and they do get Lakota Axe Riders, and you see it's even the same. It's even the same avatar actually. Um, and so yeah, Mitoe shipped 4 Axe, but he's content to just sit there and maybe we just wait for his 2 dogs. Maybe also wait for his explorer to come back up, and now it's gonna go up. So now he's gonna go raid apparently. I feel like he could just take this fight if he can micro and hit and run with his Paraders. But instead, Mito's gonna raid. I feel like Mito could have maybe aged. He could maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure about these unit shipments. I don't know what they will really do. Then again, he doesn't know that Turk has so many Huaminkas, which again are essentially pikemen, but they're very strong pikemen. They have 20% melee resist, a lot of HP, and quite a lot of attack against anything, and a decent multiplier against Cav as well. So they do the job. And they're quite a good unit against Sioux overall. Then again, I don't really think that is enough units to really push in this Sioux base. The Berators are very strong against this unit composition because the Bolas are not exactly the greatest range infantry unit, and they're not going to do that well against Berators. And pretty much everything else kind of loses to Berators, right? So Turk might try to just go in or just cover mode his incast to tank or something like that, but he can't really do much. He can't really push in these TPs at all. 5 Jans mixed in from a unit shipment, so this is pretty all-in from Turk, really. He's shipped essentially 3 unit shipments so far, including the native shipment. And just the 700 wood that he did not use for a stagecoach, he used that wood to train more of these pikemen. And now Mitoe is just going to be content to sit in these TPs here with his Berators, and I think they're gonna kill pretty much everything here. I mean, they have so much HP now, 300. And he can just send his Cav forward to bait the pikes, and meanwhile the Berators are just DPSing, like dealing damage to pretty much everything on the field. I even feel like Mitoe doesn't really need to move his Berators, or maybe just pull a couple of them back, but he can just sit there between the TPs. And yeah, that is a pretty good positioning for Mitoe now, behind the TPs, and the Cav just buying time, kind of. And I think this is really good for Mitoe here. He's even got a 6 Saturn shipment, so now he's gonna totally clean this up. He's got a couple Cav units alive, and Turk's kind of just overcommitting between these TPs here. More Raiders popping as well. Turk does raid a couple bills, but then again, regardless of that, he does kill 5, well, soon to be 5 bills. Mitoe does need to react to that small raid, but either way, Sue's still ahead in eco because it's auto, so auto needs kind of more than that. Well, if you lose your entire army, you take a poor trade and you kill 5 bills, you're still gonna lose. Some other civs would be maybe winning after killing 5 bills and trading the army like that, but I think Otto has pretty much lost the game, so you can see in the score he's quite far behind. And now Sue can do kind of pretty much anything. I mean, he can raid for sure, and he's going for it. Might even spot the Foundry, not sure if it comes in line of sight, but yeah, it definitely does. So Mitoe even knows that some Abiskans are on the way. Abiskans being the correct answer at this point. It's what Otto wants. Cavalry attack coming in, so Mitoe is gonna pull back because he doesn't really want to fight the Minutemen. Does force a Minutemen pop, but Turk also killing a couple of these Berators here. So Turk is gonna be safe for the time being. He is going to try to follow up with Abiskans, just shipping 700 gold and trying to fuel that artillery mass. Chopping some wood as well, because he needs some for houses. But again, he doesn't have a stagecoach or something like that. And Otto without stagecoach has a really, really bad eco. And Mitoe is even pressuring that TP. And might just take the fight now that these Minutemen are low HP. They will die in one shot, so they're basically equivalent to zero HP, and getting focused down quite nicely by Mitoe, and gonna clean up the remaining Jans, and then gonna proceed to probably just get the TP down, or maybe just raid some more. And I don't think that was what Turk needed here. I think he really needed to wait for his Abus before he would take a fight, and not go with all his Jans, because now if Abiskans pop, they will just die to the Bariders because there's nothing to cover the Abers. Meanwhile, a couple units just making sure they can get this native post down, just making sure there's gonna be no more pikes coming from this side. Not really caring about that one because, well, who cares about these Lakota units? A couple of riders here just raiding, and even two of them just do so much damage, and Turk has to pull all his wheels back, so losing a wheel and also so much idle time, no food being gathered at the moment. Turk also going for the stagecoach, which is kind of greedy because he doesn't really have the wood for other stuff, although he will get more wood from the TPs obviously, but at this point he's just housed. Might even not maybe he lost some wheels, like one wheel by just having no population space. He did get the second Musk upgrade, so that is why he has 24 wheels despite losing one. At this point, usually Otto has maybe 20 wheels. But yeah, and he will need to get the Musk upgrade to train more wheels. It's only 100 gold on EP though, which is not a big investment. Mitoe just needs to do something and deny the stagecoach at this point. Turk is gonna grab the third TP just now. And Mitoe has to deny these TPs or age up himself or just keep raiding or something like that. For sure. And Turk is completely out of hunts. And I think it's when you just get the Lakota tech that gives you, I believe, 12 bisons. Yeah. At your town center. So you kind of really want to get that. And yeah, he's getting it because he's out of hunts and he's already got that native post. So there's no reason not to get the bisons at this point. It's very cheap. But yeah, meanwhile, he has really kind of no units. I don't think he will ever be able to remass enough to fight that Sioux army, especially now that they're double-carded. And so Mitoe probably doesn't even need to age. He can just spam kind of pure Bow Rider at this point because they're really strong against anything Otto makes. I mean, they kind of lose to Jans and Abers, but once they are double carded, they do really okay. And Mitoe just has so much more stuff. He can really be content with just spamming these Berators now and be totally fine here. And also has much more mobility than Otto as well. Adding a couple Axe Riders and gonna just siege down that second training post here. So yeah, that is not looking too good for Turk. After a pretty one-sided game one where Mitoe just really kind of lost at 7 or 8 minutes, this time it looks like Turk lost quite early. 700 food coming in for Mitoe. It's a point where he doesn't have too much to ship. I mean, I guess he does still have all the crates. I believe the 700 food is for the big button. Because even though it's not 16 minutes yet, which is kind of the best time to get them, it's already decent at 14 minutes. So you can get 5 dogs with cav attack and cav HP on them. And that is probably just why he ships that. And yeah, it's on the way now. Because otherwise he would ship 700 gold or 700 wood to rebuild the TPs or something like that. But 700 food has to be for the dog soldiers. And now Barredo dog soldier is such a scary composition for Otto to deal with because these dogs are going to tank so much. Look at, well, they're in the TPs right now. They don't have quite that much HP, but still 20% range resist with 632 HP. Gonna take kind of forever for them to die. And they also deal an extra 50% damage against everything Otto makes at this point because he has only infantry. So this is not going to be close. This is going to be GG. There's no way this game goes on any longer. This Otto army is going to get decimated. He might kill 1, 2 dogs, maybe 1 Axe Rider, and then I don't think Mitoe has lost any unit actually so far. So yeah, that is, oh, he's lost 1 Bow Rider. But yeah, that is GG. Yeah, Mitoe feels like Turk sort of trolled him with the Nats play, but I think it was just a mind game from Turk, kind of expecting Mitoe to believe he was going for pikes, I think, and in fact just going for the cab, and hoping Mitoe would just start with Saturn bows maybe, and just catching the Saturns with his Lakotas. Either way, it didn't really work. That was quite a one-sided game, again, this time in Mitoe's favor. Well, obviously the military unit population isn't exactly representative of the mass, just because Nats do not take any pop space. But this is also not very representative, just because Bariders take their wasp essentially to pop of units. So I guess this was sort of a, like they had a similar mass, but Mito's units are just way stronger, especially in the TPs. And then he cleaned up a second time, and then with the Dark Soldiers just decimating this army here. And Su just being a bit ahead in eco, despite being idled and losing some bills. So that makes it 1-1 now. I don't think I updated the score, so I have to remember to do that at the start of next game. And we will now join again the lobby for the game 3 of this series. So looks like it is going to be Grand Shaco. Let me check, but yes, it is Grand Shaco. So that is a no TP map, as you can see on the thumbnail here. There's 8 llamas, 4 on each pond, around each pond. There's a lot of good treasures, especially coin treasures. And yeah, like I said, there's just no trading posts here. So we probably just gonna see Mitoe going for India first, because it's one of the safety masters. And India being really strong on this map.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, Mitoe has to pick first. Also, one thing I didn't talk about in previous game is that at like pretty much the same timing as the Su big button timing, you can get a tech in the Lakota, which is essentially a big button, so it gives you also some Dark Soldiers, a little bit different from the Su ones, they don't have the same stats, but they're pretty strong as well. So that is also something to consider. You kind of want to pick that trading post and just call the Lakota Dark Soldiers at some point. Then again, well, iamturk didn't really want to call that big button against pure Bow Rider. I mean, almost pure Bow Rider. Wouldn't really make much sense. And Mitoe probably just didn't have the resources for it. And yeah, he chose to call his own big button instead, which is probably just stronger anyway. Because also the cab upgrades from Su, the cab HP and the cab attack would actually affect the Lakota Dog Soldiers, so they would be really strong. But yeah, Mitoe didn't really need that, I guess, anyway, at this point. So Mitoe locked Japan, and iamturk is instantly going into Russia, which was to be expected, as iamturk can play Russia, and it is considered to be quite a good counter to Japan, and is also doesn't really need a trading post. Russia is sometimes happy to pick a trading post, but they definitely do really well even without one. So yeah, we'll see now if Mitoe can defend the pressure from Russia in this matchup. It's definitely hard to handle the rush, but even the follow-up is really tricky because even though Japan has a great follow-up, Russia also does. They have really efficient units. They have a good eco and stuff like two Falconets or even Oprishniks, which can siege down the shrines and give Japan a hard time. So we have here on top of the map, iamturk in the color blue playing as Russia. And on the other side of the map, it's Mitoe in the color teal playing as Japan. And it looks like it was just a food start, no extra gold, no extra wood, which is pretty good for Russia here because he doesn't want the wood start. Wood start is really good for Japan, so he wants just anything but a wood start. So he should be glad, should be happy about that. And he's gonna crackshot one of the pirates because Japan can't ever kill them. They don't have a crackshot, and these guys have way too much HP, so he can just safely crackshot one of them. And Mitoe is gonna see it, but he can't really do much about it, if at all. Mitoe did chop some wood, so I guess he's just gonna drop a second shrine. So yeah, he chopped an extra 40 wood to drop a second shrine. And he did get... Oh, the Explorer having a lot of range here. He did get most of the llamas already. I mean, half of them. This is gonna be fine for Mitoe actually. Yeah, so good micro here. Not letting the Jaguar reset. Now we're just gonna kill it and kill the second one. Meanwhile, Turk's working on a 105 coin treasure, which is really nice, but also really useless in H1. So it's just a lot of villager seconds, but not really gonna do anything just yet. While this is 100 XP, which is also not really gonna do much actually until Mitoe is in Colonial and ships like his second Colonial shipment. So either way, a nice treasure for boss players, and Mitoe does get the remaining llamas, so he's gonna sit on... Oh wait, actually Turk has stolen 2 llamas, so now it's 4-4, I believe. Or maybe Turk had 4 already, I don't know. Well, either way, it's 4 for each, which is a bit disappointing for Japan, seeing that Japan has 3 scouts. They have their 2 monks, and then also the Orchard Rickshaw, which can scout as well. So you kind of expect Japan to get like 6 llamas here. Another thing to say about this map is that there's only 3 berries, which means that Japan, instead of getting 10,000 food from 2 cherry orchard, they will get only 1 cherry orchard plus 3 berries, which is 8,000 food, and kind of well, just kind of forcing Japan to ship their cherry orchard shipment maybe 1 card earlier or something like that, which can be a little bit annoying. 100 foot treasure left in the middle of the map. Looks like Turk might want to go for it, but I am pretty sure Mitoe has scouted it already, so he will probably be able to deny that. He's sitting with past monks quite close to the treasure, I mean, sort of. But this one is only just here to drop a shrine, and the second one as well, apparently. He hasn't really identified the treasure, so Turk is probably just gonna get it. We see the regular age up, no Torii Gates cheese, just a standard Toshugo shrine. Oh! In fact, Mitoe is coming back now, and Turk is actually really low HP, so Mitoe could be able to win this fight if he brings his second monk. He might just try to crack shot though, which is something Mitoe cannot do, so eventually Mitoe will have to run away. He cannot keep fighting that unless he brings his second monk, which he probably should actually. Like, you don't really want to come back to pick that gold, because if you want that gold, you can anyway poof back this Explorer, right? It's going to be low HP, it's going to use its ability to poof back, so then it can pick up the gold. So I feel like Mitoe should have sent his second monk a little bit earlier, because now he's just giving a window to Turk to crackshot it, and that is just not great by Mitoe here. I think he really should have ignored the gold and just sent his second monk directly, and then just come to take the treasure, and yeah. But well, either way, forward blockhouse is up, not very forward in fact. We do have 300 wood from Japan, which usually means aggressive play, but Mitoe just likes to go for 300 wood for most of his builds anyway. And then we will probably just see... Oh, Musketeers. Okay, usually you kind of go straight at against Japan and try to idle them as much as possible. But he's going for Musketeers and gonna just siege down the shrines, which is also a possibility. 700 gold, kind of as usual. Turk just pretty much always goes 700 gold second card and spams Musketeers no matter what. Which might not be very good against Japan. I mean, I'm not sure what Russian Musks are gonna do against Ashes and Yumis. You really want Strelets and Cossacks in this matchup. A small wall for Mitoe as well, so he's just playing it safe. Walls being pretty good in this kind of matchup. And 600 wood first, which is quite standard. Dropping a market there as well to keep walling up. And he's got a barracks up, so he got the shinobis out from the consulate, the Japanese consulate, and he will get probably some Yumis as well. Showing no intention to pushing out so far. Japan being quite slow early on and also going quite greedy with 600 wood for wheels. Now you can see the 100 XP treasure kind of paying off for Mitoe. The XP treasure he's got earlier means that he got 2 shipments back to back. So that he could, yeah, just send this for villagers a little bit earlier and just get these extra resources in. And looks like this is a go time for Turk. He's trained quite a few musks from the 700 gold. 20 musks. He's got steel traps, so you kind of want steel traps when you have all your bills and food, right? Makes a big difference. Mitoe is probably getting his first market upgrades at the moment. The stable going up as well. And now Turk is going to try to go in, but the walls are going to be annoying for him. And again, these musks are not going to be too good here. Mitoe pulling back the low HP bills. These shinobis barely going to outrange the musks, but have the same range as the streelets. So they can't do too much. They can shoot a little bit though. They tank a lot at range as well. And yeah, I'm not sure what this is going to achieve for Turk at this point. I'm not sure this massive unit is going to do much without any Cossacks to snare. Because then even 3 Yumis are kind of enough to force Turk to just pull back here. Just because sieging down these walls would mean Turk would just lose a lot of units. And then Minutemen would pop some more units, maybe Nagis. And then Turk would just lose the game. So he kind of has to just pull back and keep sieging shrines. But again, sieging shrines is nice, but it's not exactly what you want to do as Russia against Japan. You can siege down the shrines, but first you kind of want to pressure the base to do some to just delay Japan. Sieging down shrines just means Japan has a bit less eco, but they are able to get away with a greedy build order and just mass a lot of stuff. So not sure this is really the right play from Turk, but either way, these shrines do cost a lot of wood. There is no Kami, there is no Portuguese consulate, so they cost 120 wood each, which is a lot. And they also give XP to Russia when they go down, but yeah, again, I'm not sure it's really enough, because now Mitoe is just going for 4 builds and just getting away with pretty much the dream build order for the Japan, except the H1 300 wood. He could have gone Kami probably actually with the same build and just be okay, but either way, yeah, just getting away with that. And he fully walled up actually. He just made sure there's no gap. I don't think there's any gap anywhere in this wall. I don't think units can go through that. Even let the pillar here to make sure there's no gap. And so at this point it's not clear whether Mitoe wants to push out in Colonia or wants to age up. Obviously with the walls he could age up, but maybe he just does not really want to. Turk is gonna be up any second now though, so Mitoe might react by following up himself, or he might try to push out, but it's not like he has a whole lot of units. So he probably can't really afford to push out so much. He needs to mass more first. So then again, even though Turk didn't do too much in Colonial, he does have a big mass of musketeers, and he's going to take up the veterancy and get the falconets, which are a pain for Japan to deal with. So there's going to be another timing for Turk here where he can try to push in. And now Mitoe is going to have to either just age up or just force the falconets, like just mass a lot and try to kill the falconets that way. I feel like it's too late for an age up at this point. If I was Mitoe, I just wouldn't age now, because Turk is up already since like 30 seconds and Mitoe is nowhere near aging. So I believe the 600 gold is just going to be to fuel his mass. He does have an insane eco at this point. He's all set up. The only problem is that eventually he will have to ship the orchards again, but not just yet. He has still quite a bit of food left. And he even has his shrines on food so that he doesn't need to ship them too soon. And now, well, he's macroed to mass a lot of units, right? He's got 600 gold and his shrines and his fields and food. So now the question is Mitoe going to be able to win this fight? The unit composition is very scary. That's a lot of musks and the 2 falconets, which is very hard for Japan to deal with. Maybe he's gonna ship Korean militia and try to just get a good pop on the falcons. It might be his shipment of choice next. Or it might be the daimyo, which would also be really good here. But it feels like Mitoe maybe doesn't have quite the mass he needs to deal with that army here. I am not sure he will be able to kill that. TC Fire doing quite a lot of damage, but Mitoe has to go fight like now. He can't delay it more. I think he needs to go just now before it goes down. It might even be too late. I wonder what Mitoe is gonna do now. I mean, this TC is dead. I guess he's gonna pop the bills. The shipment. Maybe he's got a castle somewhere. No, I don't know. Shipment. Okay, I'm kind of confused. Either way, the fight is going on. The falconets did go down to the Nagis, so that is maybe what Mitoe waited for. Just like Turk to keep sieging, and then he would just kill the Falks. And I think this entire army is gonna die actually. So looting the TC at this point is sorry, losing the TC at this point is not too big of a problem for Mitoe, as he's able to, as a result of that, to just clean up the entire army here. And Turk kind of feeding Mitoe, just sending more free kills in. They're just gonna get snared. There's 6 Cossacks, but it's not quite enough to deal with that. Mitoe just needs to sort of save his Nagis though. Just don't let them die to the melee musks. But yeah, a great trade for Mitoe overall. But the problem is that somehow he shipped that. I don't know how you get to ship that when you don't have a shipment point, but maybe it works because it doesn't need to spawn anywhere. I didn't know that, but yeah. Well, this is basically colonial militia, and it's coming in after the fight. So I feel like Mitoe maybe needed to cancel that card. I'm not sure he really wanted to get that in anymore. Either way, yeah, it's still a game. Turk is H3. He did get the TC down. He probably killed quite a few Vils as well. 8 Vils in total, which is a lot. And Russia will keep outbooming because he will keep training Vils faster, and he will keep making H3 units, and he still has map control. So all in all, it's probably a bit Turk favored at this point, but it's a game. It's anyone's game, I think. The 6 Opries are gonna do a lot of work on the shrines, but meanwhile the Cossacks are getting caught by the Nagis, and that is kind of big, really. Turk's giving, yeah, just giving a lot of free kills here. And then sending in his musks again, but they're just gonna die. I mean, he's gonna kill 1 Vil, but he's also gonna lose all these musks. They are gonna trade decently against the Nagis, but yeah, Mitoe just microing quite well, just making sure he takes as little damage as possible from the musk while keeping them snared. And he's gonna clean up, although it is kind of an okay trade for Turk here, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna end, really. I mean, Turk keeps making musks, which are really the wrong unit at this point. He needs some Cossack, maybe some Stridas, but I don't think musks are any good. Also, Turk being quite mismacroed has to move on to the next gold mine here. So he's probably gonna pull his Vils in that gold mine. Might just want to ship 1k gold if he has a shipment ready, but he probably does not. And yeah, the thing is, Mitoe needs to age up eventually, or just to do something. Like, he cannot just stay that passive. He has to push Turk, or just age himself, or do something like that, but he can't really just wait that much. It looks like it doesn't show on the UI because it's been shipped once already somehow, but yeah, there's another 600 gold shipment on the floor for Mitoe here. And 5 ashes as well. He must have got a lot of XP from killing all these units. And now, wow, that is gonna be huge. The Opries are gonna get caught, but most importantly, the Vils, some of them at least are gonna die. That is also risky from Mitoe here. But yeah, not killing too many Vils, but still quite a few, so that he's keeping the economy even at this point, which is nice for Mitoe. The mass is also even, and the units are pretty much as strong as, I guess. Like, threats are not veteran musks are like regular musks, And the Cossacks are not veteran, and they will be veteran, but still, you know, like in terms of unit, they're quite even at this point. But yeah, Mitoe is maybe being a little bit too passive. I feel like he needed to snowball his early wins in these fights. Just snowball it and try to break the contain. So Explorer gonna go down again. One Veil was sent here probably by mistake by Turk and it just died. And Upris on top. Mitoe could have turned back and just coat them with his Nagis, but I think he just wants to push now, which I respect. We have to keep in mind that in this military pop, there's like, yeah, 12 pop worth of Upris, which aren't really any good in fights. So, but Mitoe is going on top again, maybe hoping to get a good raid on this gold mine again if Turk would sneak some heals back there. But instead, he's gonna find the Upris most likely, which he might or might not be able to catch. Looks like he didn't react just yet. But now he will, although the Upris are running away again. Mitoe really just needs to push and fight. I think he can crush this army, and all he really needs is to just take a fight. He was maybe waiting for his consulate, because he did not have a consulate for quite a while, and now that it's back up, he can spend the export into some clubs. So that is probably what he was waiting for, but never mind, because he's still waiting. Cavalry combat coming in from Turk, kind of... I feel like Boyaz is just better at this point, because it would also affect the Stridets. And it's 15% anyway, but not a big deal, I guess. Doesn't have a lot of Cav, but 15 Cossacks with Cav combat and veterancy are quite scary. This is probably the addition iamturk needed. On top of the unit composition he had already, kind of needed to get this Cav power spike. So Mitoe really needs to take a fight soon before the Russian units get out of control, because next when Turk probably just ships Boyars, these Cossacks are gonna be insane. And Mitoe doesn't want that to happen. He needs to fight before it happens. And yeah, this is gonna be maybe the deciding fight, and I feel like Turk should be able to win it. Mitoe might have wanted to just age at some point, maybe. I think he got caught off guard by this Musketeer Falconet push early on and then didn't really have a follow-up. And there was definitely a window where Mitoe could have done a lot of damage. He could have pushed out, break the locales, but he just was a little bit afraid of a lot of cav maybe, so he just did not really ever push. And I think this is what happens when you wait too much and you're H2 against H3. Despite being Japan, having strong units, having a good eco, you're still up against H3 stuff, and if you wait too much, this happens. Just a lot of really strong Cossacks coming in. But Mitoe will probably flank that. And the thing is that he kind of needs to get the daimyo to boost his entire army here to be able to match this technology from the Russian player. I'm not sure. Duke suddenly stops sieging and just goes here in the corner. Maybe just afraid of getting flanked. He doesn't really need to push after all. He can just keep sieging down the shrines and stay ahead. Keep getting more eco, keep getting more upgraded units, keep getting upgrades coming in as well. And Mitoe is gonna counter push and maybe it's gonna try to catch the Upris, which do have 86 siege now with Cav combat. iamturk not sending his shipment just yet. Mitoe did get away with shipping the orchards, which he needed to do. It's never something you want to do, but you have to do it. But yeah, just Mitoe having like really no map control. Being housed as well. So these Upris have been doing a lot of work. They really need to die. Mitoe gonna split his cav, gonna try to trap the Upris. And he will be successful most likely, but meanwhile Turk is gonna push Mitoe's base. So Mitoe has to clean up the Cossacks and then quickly go back. And that is so many Nagis, but they don't really do well at all against upgraded Cossacks and veteran Musks. So yeah, Nagys are nice against Russia overall, but not really sure how much they're gonna accomplish here. And iamturk is actually going industrial, so this is kind of over really. I mean, it might give a shot. Like Mitoe will be able to maybe take a good fight as a result of that, just because iamturk will be going industrial, so he's gonna spend a lot of resources into just nothing for the time being until he gets stuff back from aging. But in fact, it's gonna be just fine for iamturk because Mitoe is aging up himself. So it's at the same time nice for Mitoe because he finally gets to go to Fortress, but also just the Industrial is going to be tough to deal with. At this point, when Turk is Industrial, he can just sort of spam H4 Cossacks and just get 2 heavy cannons and just wreck everything. A second barracks going down for Mitoe there in the back from the rickshaw. And aging as usual with the Shogunate, which will give him a daimyo and also a discount on the cost of his units. Oh no, wait, it's I just assumed he was going for the Shogunate because Mitoe kind of always does, but I guess this time he does not. Because the Shogunate grants you some XP, some experience, and experience just isn't that valuable at 22 minutes, I guess, anymore. So he decided to go instead for the 6 Yumis and the boost on his units. And yeah, that is not going to be too nice for Mitoe to see that now Turkey is industrial. And Mitoe has to upgrade so many units now. He needs to upgrade his Nagis, his Ashes, and 24 Yumis. So yeah, he also needs to upgrade his Yumis. It's gonna be tough. Turkey is getting God Masks as well. They're gonna be very strong. And if he also gets God Cossacks, it's gonna be such a scary army with the 2 heavy cannons behind. I don't think Mitoe can deal with that. He really needs to get flaming arrows. Probably can't ship 2 flaming arrows. You kind of need to like train 5 flaming arrows or something to deal with the heavy cannons. And even then, I'm not sure it's enough because flaming arrows aren't very good against artillery in H3. They're good usually against falconets because of the extra range, but heavy cannons have the same range as flaming arrows, so this isn't gonna matter here. And a nice raid here on the side, so Mitoe might not even realize it just because the main fight is going on, and he might lose a lot of heals. Meanwhile, Cannon's getting in position to shoot. All the units have been upgraded, I believe, except the Yumis, in fact. He does need to upgrade his Yumis. And but these are Japanese units, and they're really strong at this point with the daimyo, the porcelain tower. Although he does not have any upgrade like Ashi or Yumi attack. Mitoe trying his best to just get free kill with his Yumis, getting decent trades there, although also losing 2 Nagis for free. But yeah, he's gonna get sort of cornered here, and he needs to find an angle to get on top of these cannons with his Nagis. But Turk's doing a good job of just bringing the cannons forward and using his musketeers to cover them. I wonder where the other Cossacks are. It feels like some of them are missing. Maybe they just died to Yumis. Mitoe does need to kill that 1 Cossack which is snaring him. I think this is gonna be GG. I mean, Mitoe is getting a big raid trying to delay the fight and meanwhile just running away and killing bills. He might be able to just hit and run the Cossacks and get away, maybe. But if he gets caught here, it's gonna be GG because there's just too much Russia stuff at this point. But fortunately for Mitoe, Turk forgot about his cannons, so they're lagging behind. And Mitoe is just feeling okay, fighting a little bit here while the cannons are away. But they're coming now, and Nagi HP coming in, which is really good when you have that many Nagis. Although he lost quite a few of them already, but still. Mitoe's just gonna run away because he cannot take that fight, and might be trying to age at the same time. I wonder how many more wheels is lost in that raid. I guess it's not only the raid. He lost some on this gold mine. He must have lost some wheels somewhere else. But that right here was definitely big, probably killed nearly 10 wheels or something like that. Then again, he also killed a lot of iamturk's wheels, but Turk is now following up with the factory, and the second factory gonna come at some point. So Turk, it actually does come now. Yeah, like he does have a blockhouse up, so it's not just gonna die. The factory wagon. Mitoe taking risk here, sieging it down, but he can probably afford to just fight the Cossacks. And he's doing a good job at raiding here. If only the Nagis weren't out of position here, just dying. If he had them on top of these wheels, he would kill so many of them, and then he would be so ahead in eco. Regardless of the factories, Mitoe would be already ahead if he killed all these wheels. And then he would have all his Nagis alive and he would be okay. But in fact, by just wasting his entire Nagi mass here and letting these wheels escape as a result of that, I think it's GG. And now these volleys are absolutely horrible for Mitoe here. Only the Falconet got to shoot there, and he's actually gonna get aggressed by these Cougars. But really good volleys regardless. And now Mitoe is left with really not much at the end of the day. I mean, he's behind in eco, he's behind in military, and he's 1H behind as well. And his Chariotta has run out, so he's gonna have to ship that again, which is... And the Daimyo is just here. So yeah, I think it's resign time for Mitoe here. This game is totally over now. Was interesting play by Turk. I do feel like it's not really how you want to play it. Because if Mitoe does reach H3, which he could have, instead of massing more in H2, he could have gone H3. Then I don't think Falconets and Vet must achieve anything at all. So a small skirmish here, Mitoe trying to get good trades, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. This Musk could even go mini mode on top of the army just to snare, and yeah, all these units are probably just gonna die. And this is the end of the game. GG. 2-1 for iamturk in this series. So yeah, Mitoe just being really behind in military the whole game. The only time where he was ahead, despite being 1H behind, was when he cleaned up in his base. And then he really needed to remass quick and try to push. But he didn't manage to do that. And Turk probably just outgathered the whole game. Nope, actually not. Interesting. I guess it's just a lot of walking time from the Russian wheels while the shrines are working constantly. But yeah, either way, Russia being actually behind in resources, but didn't really matter because he always had the upper hand in the military and in the tech as well. And I don't know if all these bills were just from the 4 Cossacks that were raiding on the right, but I want... Well, either way, Mitoe lost a lot of bills, and he also lost a lot in this first fight. And the ratio not being very good for Mitoe, considering that he's Japan and made so many Nagis, while Russia just spammed the super cheap musketeer unit. So not a very good ratio for Mitoe here. Just good trades for iamturk overall. I'm gonna try to... Alright, we're gonna get Interjection co-casting with me, guys. So I'm just gonna call with him. First, let's give them the map. Next map is Arizona. Alright, so I'm gonna just call Interjection then. Hey,
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm alright.
Hey, that's good.
How are you? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been quite a while actually. I'm well. I'm well. Just casting a good series.
Yeah, I haven't. I've got it on in the background, but I'm writing a document of sorts, so I've not been paying super attention. I was about to, because I was eating my dinner and I wanted to cast with you afterwards, but I sort of finished just as you started that game you're just watching now, or just
Yeah.
finished watching now.
Yeah, I did see that in the Discord. Yeah, unfortunate timing. We're gonna need feedback from the chat as well about your sound. But I hope it's fine. Maybe you're too loud or something. So we'll see.
Well, it was good with Edie, so maybe it will be good with you. We'll soon find out.
Yeah, unless the problem is on my end, in which case it's not gonna be good. I just asked for feedback, and we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Did you get your microphone working? I heard you you had a headset.
Nah, I need to actually bother getting a USB. Maybe you told me to do that, or was it someone
Yeah.
else? Yeah, no, I didn't actually. I'm too lazy, and I just didn't get any kind of extra.
Come on, you have Amazon, right? How hard could it be?
Yeah, it's a lot of clicks though. All right. Anyway, we're going this game 4 of the playoff 5 between Mitoe and iamturk. So it's now iamturk being up 2-1 in this series. And I didn't really check the Civ picks as we were talking, but it looks like it's Hero against Russia. Turk locking in Russia first as it's a Civ reset, so now boss players are able to play any Civ they wish again. And that is an interesting matchup. I do believe it's quite a bit Hero favored, but it's not a matchup we see very often, so I'm quite excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah. The score is 2-1 to Turk, you say?
Indeed.
All right. Mitoe had issues against Turk in the last time that they played, which I believe was the SmackDown that I casted.
Yeah, he was.
We saw a reverse sweep. That was quite fun.
Right.
But your Turk can hold his own. Good stuff. Speaking of Turk, here he is in the top of the map in the color blue. Oh, I have to remember that you're the cameraman.
Yeah, but you can do that. You can introduce the players. I just follow your words. Or do you want me to introduce, or?
I'm just reading the chat. Apparently, there's a lot of echo or something. Echo will be fixed.
Yeah, just let me grab my earphones. It's probably why. 1 second.
Ah, right. Well, I've got no echo on my side. But interjection in toilet. Toilet cast. Now that would be a cast, wouldn't it? Good lord. Every now and again. Yes. I'll wait until...
Yeah, I'm just grabbing all that. I kind of forgot that I need to have that. So, sorry guys, it's going to be a bit messy for a second.
Maybe I...
All right.
2 minutes for this.
Yeah, okay, I can hear you fine. So there should be no more echo now, hopefully. And
Interjection is back. Where did I go? I don't. Yes, I'm back on ESOC, but I've not been anywhere. I suppose. Yes, Turk spawning in the top of the map in the color blue, playing as indeed Russia. 200 would start. You're gonna leave 100 of that on the floor, and looks like Russia will pick himself up the scout there, but Mitoe does catch the snare.
yeah, and he will be able to crack shot that. So even if Turk goes into cover mode, which he does, and is a nice trick to take only half the damage from that crack shot, it's still kind of easier for Hero to deal with that kind of native scout there. So this looks like the Nat will escape, but I feel like Turk's Explorer is going to be a really low HP at the end of the day. Mitoe did go for a trading post with the wood start, which is something very nice for Hero. While Russia he just left the wood on the ground, like you said, so not really using any of that wood for anything, because it's just Russia. And
Yeah.
I do believe Mitoe got the XP. So he's got more XP, much more XP than Russia. So yeah, he did get the first pass in, which is nice for him.
Yeah, all good. Apparently, this is the first time we're seeing this matchup in the EPL.
Yeah, it is probably the first time we see this in the EPL. You're right.
According to Brooke G, man of stats, our lord and savior of the figures.
Yeah,
Looks
like I
like
said, it's kind of a matchup we don't really ever see so much. So yeah, it's nice.
Why is that then? Shall we? I mean, there's this treasure contention first. ATXP, crack shot does take down the strong guardian. There now just 2 wolves left, one of which is Mitoe's, and we'll see who picks up this treasure. Mitoe hasn't managed to get a good one yet, so I think he's looking to pick this up. But that explorer, in fact, both of them quite.
I think
nice
Mitoe just
crack shot on
canceled the
scout.
crack shot. Yeah. No, did he get it? Yeah. But iamturk does get the 80 food, so getting a second nice treasure. This one being probably even more impactful just because the 80 food is... No, it's not aging him to... sorry, it's not helping him actually to age up at all. He's already aging, so never mind. But Mitoe is going for the fast age either way. So even though he went for a 16 age up, which can happen sometimes as hero, as you need to chop an extra 100 wood for a trading post, Mitoe will still be up very quickly.
Oh, that pull.
Yeah, he did pull his explorer away quite nicely here. And Turk is actually going for a forward base, maybe because he didn't see the fast age, right? I mean, it was like 340, 345, and he's like, okay, hero is still not up, it's not a fast age. But in fact, Mitoe is aging fast just 1 wheel later. So not sure this is what you want as Russia.
But Mitoe, his forward base going up on the other side there, so they're sort of opposite. I don't know, Mitoe probably doesn't know about that Russian forward base just yet, given that his explorer is building trading posts and not scouting, although Turk will see that there. Kaiser, do you want to tell us perhaps why we don't see this matchup too often then? How does this play out?
Well, we don't... I mean, we haven't seen much hero until recently, so we didn't really see any hero matchup very often. And I don't know why this specific matchup. I think it's just about hero, really. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't see why it wouldn't happen so much.
So not necessarily a bad matchup for either Civ.
No, probably better for...
Shipment splits them up into 2 groups to pursue that villager down, but ultimately doesn't get either. 5 musks coming in behind it as well. Can he pick up a villi?
And Mitoe going for 5 vills actually, so quite greedy here, but if he gets away with it, it's pretty nice for him. Also, something I want to talk about before it actually happens is that we might see some weird action in this canyon here between the 2 front bases. I can see them going to fight there, and that would be probably good for Russia, seeing that they have the Strelets, which are really efficient ranged infantry, that you would be glad to sit between these cliffs. But Mitoe coming back to defend, maybe just content to have his 5 villager shipment in. Not really pressuring Turk's base too much.
Yeah. Looks fairly eco-focused from Mitoe, despite the forward base there. 2 trading posts, 1 on either side, and indeed starting with 5 villages. Up against Russia, who sent 5 and 4 Cossacks, continuing to mass muskets. Looking like quite a scary army, and soon should be thinking about entering Mitoe's base. Yeah, here they come. Lots of Cossacks and musketeers here, but Mitoe, he's calling the big button tomahawks. That's going to bolster his army.
Yeah, and I think Mitoe is just totally fine to defend that. I mean, there isn't a lot of infantry for Russia. It's like 9 fake musketeers, so it's not too much, you know. Like, Mitoe's tomahawk alone in melee mode would probably just dead move everything. And then he's got the Kanyas for the snare and the War Chief, which is extremely strong. But now Turk is going to go for Mitoe's front base, which is an interesting move. He might get trapped if Mitoe pops some tomahawks in melee mode, maybe from his war hut, but he knows that Mitoe's army is in his base, so he has a few seconds to try and make something happen. But is it going to work? Because Mitoe is on the way already. Going to try to buy time with his Kanyas. Turk does have the native scout here, so he knows what's coming. So he can pull back in time, which is going to be very nice for him. But
Yeah.
the native is gonna die, so still,
Nicely done from Mitoe, though, saving the forward base there. Had you, not been so confident, I would have thought that war hut would have gone down for sure. But he saves the war hut and does force those units out onto the map to save it. Mitoe following up with 4 Kanya and 6 Toma, as well as the 5 Tomahawk big button. So starting to mass up nicely now with these 5 villages behind him. Currently popped. That's not too good, but I'm sure he'll be fine.
1 bill going down for Mitoe on the trees there. Not too big of a deal, but still. And Mitoe just coming back to try and catch that army. And I do feel like Mitoe has just a superior army at this point, but he can't really take a fight because he doesn't have any Kanyas to snare, and he doesn't maybe want to make Kanyas because Russia is going so heavy on Musketeers himself. But yeah, so it's kind of an awkward situation where none of the players can really take a fight. What I do dislike, though, is this war hut not being repaired on Mitoe.
Yeah,
That's a big
to
mistake.
say that. This is this looks a bit dicey. Mitoe's been lured back away. Oh, but perhaps he can threaten his opponent's blockhouse, and then it'll be a trade. A lot of posturing going on in this game.
Yeah, but I don't know. The certain threats are really nice here, but then again, there's 7 Ainas coming in for Mitoe, so I don't really know. This should be kind of a close fight. Probably Hero is favored here, but it's kind of depends on what is gonna pop from the blockhouse. Obviously, no more unit shipment is gonna pop out of this Russian blockhouse, but he can still, well, just train units. But it's only 1 blockhouse, you know. It's not like the well-known annoying 2 blockhouse that it's just so hard to push into 2 blockhouses, right? But one of them isn't that scary. Turk repairing it though, unlike Mitoe, so.
Mitoe has repaired his now. It finally got repaired, so ultimately didn't matter in the end. But yeah, it's a little bit awkwardly positioned for Mitoe. Like these units, these Tomahawks, they're walking through the center of the map. Doesn't look ideal.
Ooh, that is not too good. Yeah, they will probably just die.
Maybe you can pull them.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah, he's gonna probably just pull them.
Yep. All right. So it's okay, taking a few extra volleys that weren't needed, but ultimately it's fine. And now Mitoe coming in with that batch for a push here, looking to siege that down. A lot of siege going on and not looking to return fire on his opponent's troops, just wants to get the blockhouse down.
Only the Aina is
now
shooting.
Starting to shoot.
Only Aina is shooting, and now, well, he did lose quite a few units. I'm not sure this was a good move by Mitoe. Maybe he just wanted to fight that. But either way, I think this is a close fight, but it might be just Mitoe. I don't know. This is really close because the muskets are. There's a lot of muskets, but they're not very good against Ainas. 6 idle Ainas though in Mitoe's base. Oh, that is huge.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
they
he's
need to
lost
in the fight. And there's so many muskets, and they've closed the gap. Those Aena, they've not got a tank line. All the Tomahawks are gone, so to speak, and now they're just going to get sort of cleaned up by lots of big volleys from that large mass there. Mitoe doing a lot of sighing, it would seem. GG coming out. They were supposed to keep sieging, he says.
Yeah,
alas,
I think
that is not the case for him. The blockhouse stays up, and the units go down.
He messed up a little bit there. Also kind of surprised by the 6 Aena shipment, which could have been just the conservative tactics he did. The kind of boyas for hero.
Rate for HP and for Tomahawks and Aena.
Yeah, I think would have been more impactful on this whole army than like 600 foot worth of units in the fight. I feel like it would have been just way better. Maybe also a fire pit and war dance, and just like not do the siege thing and actually fight. And I think Mitoe would have won the fight, in fact. But yeah, not the greatest fight from Mitoe here. Arguably throwing the game, although it was still close. But I would have given the edge to Mitoe at this point, and he just took a terrible fight there. So that is going to be 3-1 for Turk in this series, taking the lead. Definitely going to be the winner of this play 05. Now we have to see if Mitoe can still win a second game to even up the score a little bit.
Yeah, he wants to get that pride point, perhaps, and score an extra one for his team and indeed himself. But yes, Turkey is the winner. And that matchup, really an aggressive one. I like how Mitoe shipped... Well, he shipped 5 villages, but then after that, nothing but military units, and indeed Russia, quite similar there. But going into our final game 5 here on Herald Island. It's a shame I didn't get to see. Well, I didn't get to cast the first couple of games. After casting with Edie, I grabbed myself a bite to eat, some dinner. But looking forward to seeing some more games or a final game. Mitoe and Turk, pretty good players.
Definitely, yes. And so this last map is Herald Island, which is not a super standard map because there's this little thing on the left of the map, like this sort of frozen path where you have 2 gold mines and a lot of hunts, and on which you cannot build anything, so you can't wall it up or do anything like that. So it's kind of a place where you cannot really secure your vills and you can get raided as it goes straight to your opponent's base. So we'll see how this plays out. Looks like Mitoe is locking in China first, and Turk will look to counterpick that. Cannot Russia anymore though, but we'll see what he goes for.
Yeah, Mitoe probably not feeling too good at the moment, but China could be the sieve that saves the day, gets them another point. It is one that we all know Mitoe is very strong with. Yes. Herald Island coming up. Random question. Does that trick with the building docks still work? Because I know you can place the docks on the ice, like kind of in the backdoor entrance and on the, that passage around the back where you can't place buildings, but you can place docks because obviously they would
you can
need to be placed on ice if that's what's next to the water.
You can actually place them on top, which is kind of useless though because they don't even make a wall. In fact, you can go through kind of. I've tried to wall up with docks once just to see what it does, and it feels like you can always get units through. It's not a real wall. However, what you can do is place a dock in the water actually, so you can actually make warships on this map anywhere around the island or even in the pond in the middle. So warships can be a thing here. And especially in that little pond, just to secure the gold mines and hunts, he could make like the equivalent of a frigate or something like that. And Germany coming in for Turk, so this is a matchup which is quite a close matchup in my opinion. And we'll see how it plays out now. Mitoe does know China really well. He also knows Germany really well, so he should know this matchup quite well. Not sure how well Turk knows it, though. We'll have to see.
All right, let's get into this next game on, indeed, Herald Island. Mitoe versus Turk.
Yeah, so that's the final game, And this map is sort of Hudson Bay kind of layout and treasures, but you have much more smaller treasures than on Hudson Bay. You have only few big polar bear treasures here.
Right, saying it seems so weird Will having the shit mic and Kaiser the one with the good mic. Well, I can assure you my mic is actually pretty good, but coming through Discord, I suppose it's actually not so good. We should probably not cast through Discord because they've changed their sort of settings so that
So it went out of sync and just okay.
Okay, we'll launch that back up, boot it up, and see if we can get back in again. What was I saying? Something about they've changed the bit rate. It's kind of gotten worse. You have to have a Nitro server for it to sound good. So maybe we should get the ESOC server Nitro boosted or whatever it is so that we can cast inside one of those.
Yeah,
and then we'll have better quality. Just a thought.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Shame, because Discord is like universally how everyone talks now, but it's actually not ideal voice quality.
No, it's not.
I mean, you sound pretty good to me, but I guess
but
coming through the other end.
I think when you say the shit mic, it's just that we can hear you're not the main person on this computer, There's some distance, but it's actually pretty good quality you have, honestly. So nothing to be worried about for sure. So let's try this again then. Second try on this Held Island. Hopefully not gonna out of sync again. Let's see.
Yeah, we will see.
If it goes out of sync again, we will have to probably just use an old UI map, a custom UI map instead of the UIX.
What is UIX? Isn't that the same that we've been using for a long time?
Yeah.
Why is it not working then on EP, do you think?
I am not sure. I felt like there's something changed on the map. If you look at the minimap now, you can see the ice on the left is just normal. And when we spawn the map, I noticed that there's some white, it's outlined in white somehow. So it's like maybe they added a beach around the ice or something, so that you cannot place a dock, which means that maybe they did some other changes which are causing the out of sync now. I don't know, something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I noticed that too. The sort of mini map looks a bit sort of yellow on the edges of the map
Yeah,
where it
right.
meets the
You
water.
see, everywhere actually. So yeah, it's to prevent the dock from being placed, I'm pretty sure. But maybe they also changed something else at the same time, and now it's just going out of sync. I don't know, but we'll see this time if it works.
Yeah, we will see. Let's hope it works. I actually don't have much faith because if it out of sync the first time, I don't see why it would be any different the second. But well, it looks like it's holding up. We'll have to hope for the best.
Okay. Yeah. Well, happens, I guess. We'll just go for the UI. I mean, the old version of the map, I guess.
All right.
But yeah, so they did fix the fact that you can build a dock, because it's obviously not intended with like that kind of super high cliffs and stuff. You're not supposed to be able to build a dock and just make warships on the map like that with no fish, no water flag, nothing. So I guess they just wanted to get rid of that, which I do respect. But yeah, we'll have to go for an older version of the map.
Do I need to install the ASUI then? I'm assuming that I do. Bugger, I don't have it on my UI.
No, you wait. Just Comet K donating $2. I'm not gonna read that message though. All right. A bit of flame towards me and my team. I don't really like that. Either way, do you need to install it? No, it should be installed with the EP, regardless of what kind of map we use.
Oh no, I don't think that's okay. If you're sure, how sure are you? Because I'm pretty sure that you do have to install it if you're not using a UIX map.
No, you have to install it if you opt on the RE patch, because it's not part of the EP then. But if you opt on the UI map, I'm 99% sure it works, because it's not part of the map. It's not in the map. It's in the EP, right? So
okay, I'll trust you.
Well, I'm on EP. Aren't you on some weird version of EP, like SmackDown or Beta or something like that? I don't think so.
No, I'm on EP, and even if you're on SmackDown now, it won't let you connect to EP.
Yeah, right. I don't think we could join each other's game, but either way,
yeah. It makes a CRC mismatch now, I'm told. SmackDown is still set to the Weekend Pilgrims. Actually, I need to get that reset. I have a special announcement that I will be making tomorrow. All
right, interesting. So don't spoil it then, I guess.
Well, it's not that special, but it's an announcement all the same.
All right, so file transfer started. They added these nice little messages, because even though we don't usually need to give each other maps anymore, I think you remember really well Inter when we had to wait for 10 minutes or something in the lobby because one of the players would never get the UI map.
Those were the days.
Yeah. And then you didn't even know if you're getting the fight or not. So now at least you have a message prompting saying that the fight transfer has started, so you know what's going on.
You know what's up.
Yeah.
That's handy to see.
Right.
Can I green it? No, oh, there we go. I was like, it tells you when it starts, but it doesn't tell you when it ends. But it does. I just got the file transfer complete. Remove OBS mode.
Yeah, I don't think you need observer mode for these all UI maps, so I think it's better to remove it because we don't need it.
I don't know. I think you're going to regret this. I think the observer mode being checked is probably what triggers the UI to start. Yeah, I agree with Mitoe there. I think so too. I can't see it making any difference. Like,
Okay, yeah, I guess. I just thought that the FFA, because before we had these UIX maps and we use this kind of UI 2.2 maps, we just set it to FFA at this point, and it was just toggling the UI that way, right? So I just assumed it would do the same, but either way, it should be fine. We'll see in a second. And
yeah, I got the UI. Okay, well, whatever. It's working now, so that's good.
Well, until it goes out of sync again, maybe. So we'll have to wait a bit.
It still looks different. It's got like the funny outline around the.
Maybe they just updated boss up. I don't know. I just don't know. So I'm not gonna introduce
it like that, and we've never noticed it.
Nah, no way. Even on the minimap, it doesn't look like that. I mean, on the Jesus Christ. So yeah, it's going out of sync again. We'll just don't know what we're gonna do. Interesting. What can we do now? What can we do?
I don't know. I'm considering making my announcement now because there's lots of people here to announce it to. Maybe we'll do it at the end of the game.
It's really up to you. I'm just a bit concerned about how we do regarding the game. Like, should they play it on a different map? I guess I'm gonna just inform the admins and they will tell us. And
yeah, I guess that's the right course of action. Herald Island seems a bit balked at the moment.
Yeah, happens sometimes.
Yeah. The only thing stopping me from making this announcement now is that I haven't actually like scheduled it. Well, I have. I mean, it's okay. It's half scheduled. Yeah.
Okay, so well, just say it or not. It's up to you.
I'll say at the end of the game. I've decided.
All right. All right. So they suggest replacing by Mendocino. Obviously, it's a bit of a different map. TP line is different. The ice stuff is different. Wait.
Yeah, Mitoe doesn't seem super happy.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they're still fine with this matchup on this map because obviously they picked for another map. So yeah, Mitoe just wants to get it done. He's been talking a lot about retiring from AoE3 at the moment. I hope it's not going to happen, but yeah, this series is definitely not going to help.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's in a good place at the moment. I guess that's the trouble with the play all 5. Once you've lost, you still have to keep playing.
Yeah, that is a good point. Although it also gives you a chance to make the score a little bit more even once you've lost, right? So.
Yeah, it also gives you the opportunity to go the other way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mitoe not feeling so good. I hope that's not true either. But Mitoe, I'm sure. Even if he takes a break, we'll see him eventually. It's quite difficult to leave this game entirely. Yeah, and there is the definitive edition coming, so I highly doubt he will miss that when it finally does roll around, even if it is quite an extended break. But let's hope he doesn't go the way of the H2O or the way of the Zuta. That would be a shame.
Definitely. Either way, we have pretty much the best start for Germany in this matchup. 300 food, 200 wood. It's what you want to get as Germany, and especially against China that gets the same crates all the time. But I should maybe introduce the players we have here on the top left of the map. Yeah. Or you can do it. Just some work for you.
Yeah, there's an important part of the commentary, I believe. Even though, everyone can see that on the scoreboard and indeed the score he's playing, I do have to make sure I vocally cover it. Otherwise, it doesn't feel official. Spawning on the top left of the map in the color cyan, teal. I all of these years, and I still go through that list of colors. It's Mitoe. I'll just call it the Mitoe color. I think everyone knows it as that. Mitoe starting with an early trading post by the looks of it and going for a tomahawk treasure, which looks pretty good. Turk on the bottom of the map in the color blue, playing as indeed the Germans. Is into setting up a studio in his bedroom. No, I'm not doing that. Although we've got enough equipment, so I probably could, but that is not the announcement. Guys, the announcement is this. I shouldn't have said anything. It's not even a big deal. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
But those are the players, and Mitoe does get that Native American warrior, the tomahawk, and Turk finding himself 95 wood, so that's a pretty good find for him.
Indeed, and that is an even never mind. I was gonna say it's an even better find just because of the TP. The fact that you need 100 wood for your house and that 95 wood is pretty much 100 wood, right? But in fact, I didn't quite see how it went, but he probably just chopped before he actually scouted the treasure. So he just is gonna float a 95 wood, which is pretty much useless in H1, but just a really good treasure regardless. And so yeah, Mitoe's just gonna build up a small army here. Looks like he's going for the dogs now after the tomahawk, and that is gonna be scary. Maybe he would have hoped. I mean, he was maybe hoping that Turk would not get a trading post start, right? Because then if you get 2 dogs and a tomahawk, you can just split them on all the TP sockets and deny the TP in transition from Germany. But now that Turk already got a TP, it's not as big of a deal. But still, these units will be useful. He might just kill the explorer. He might defend the 2 Ulan raids with that, because definitely this would kill 2 Ulans. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. And that Tomahawk especially good at defending Ulans with his multiplier against Cav at range, which is pretty tasty. But yes, nice Pokemon army going on for him there. But Germany now going up to the colonial age, gathering some wood in transition. Will he build another trading post? Surely not.
He could.
That.
The standard thing to do would be a market, and he's dropping a market now. But a second TP is an option.
Yeah,
when you already have
Explorer
one.
Was gonna drop one, but just sailing on past it is gonna go with the market as usual.
Yeah, he's going back on top. No, he's not. No, yes, he's. No, he's not. Okay, I don't know. He's just gonna get some HP back, I guess.
Yeah. Do the hokey cokey.
Probably
around.
Just gonna be happy to grab this 40 foot in his base, which is pretty much the only thing he can get with that kind of
and
low
that's
HP.
what it's all about.
And Mitoe did get a nice food treasure. I mean, actually 2 nice food treasures, but especially one he got before he started aging. I'm not sure if the second one was really helping. It surely does help, because as China you keep training builds in transition. So getting a food treasure when you start aging is still useful. Make sure you don't have to idle at all and keep training builds. So Mitoe's going to have a quite nice age up time for China, despite not setting any veil on the Wonder. So this is a well-known Mitoe FF where he just gathered everything for the age up and just skipped the 700 gold and sends something else instead. Sometimes 700 wood, sometimes a unit shipment, that kind of stuff. So by not having veils on the Wonder, it means he just gets much more resources in transition. And also not eating the goat in H1 so that it fattens more and he can eat it before going to H3. So... And Turk did not scout that. He's waiting to take a second TP from his 400, would most likely here with his Explorer. So playing quite greedy by the looks of it.
Yeah, Mitoe doing that sort of style we've come to know and love. I wonder if he's just sort of autopiling it, almost. Just because he doesn't seem like he's in a good mood at the moment. But he should be. He's got pretty good start. Good treasures age 1. Big army here to defend the Ulan raids. Should be able to get up to the Fortress Age pretty easily with what he's got going on there.
Yeah. I mean, this is enough to fight a couple Ulans, but when Turk makes Ulans, which he just did, so he's got a batch of only 4 because he chopped some wood. I don't exactly. I think iamturk must have mismacroed a bit because he didn't actually get steel traps nor a second TP, but he's got just 88 wood stacked and 500 gold. So, but still getting 4 Ulans out and gonna look to pressure a little bit China there. He might just go for the trading post. He might try to raid. Not so sure. Looks like he's just gonna go for the TP, yeah. Which is interesting, but I feel like you might as well first try to pressure the base a bit, and then maybe once your opponent has popped something like, yeah, the pipes, then you can go back.
Yeah, maybe he saw the 2 war dogs and the tomahawk and thought, I'm not even going to bother. But yeah, not making any attempt to do some raiding in base. But either way, forces the 8 pikemen regardless, although I suspect Mitoe was going to send that anyway. And that's a good thing for him. It looks like he's going to be able to save his trading post here. Doesn't catch those Ulans. Turk paying good attention and will get away. But the pikes will save the trading post, and they'll indeed be useful once we get to the Fortress Age as well, those pikemen there. But particularly right now against Germany and the cavalry. Turk, 700 wood coming down, and looks like he's going to add in a barracks and a few houses with it. So not in a hurry to go to Age 3 by the looks of it. Turk going to stick it out in the Colonial, perhaps. Units in queue. 5 Ulans, there they are. No Doppelsodners.
Oh, and also shipping the wood at the village, which is a little bit more awkward to gather. But he will be fine eventually just because of the pikes coming in. But yeah, it's... Mitoe, well, he does get away by, like, with skipping the 700 gold, but he shipped the pikes and still loses 1 vil, and now Turk is just gonna go back to sitting down the training post. Though Mitoe is repairing it, but still. And there's going to be a lot of Ulans now, so it's not like Mitoe will try to fight it. I think when he sees there's like 15 Ulans out there, yeah, he's just turning back and like, nope, I'm not going to delete all my pikes there. I'm just going to keep defending in base where they actually are stronger because of the pathing. The pikes here in this choke would do pretty good even against 15 Ulans. So he's just going to stay here. Going to get a pop from the Summer Palace as well. And Mitoe is going to be up anytime now, so a little bit later than the standard FF, but with just 9 extra pikes, pretty much.
Gonna be up. Does lose his trading post, though, which I think kind of sucks, especially since he had the means to defend it. But he is now into the Fortress Age there, and we do see the market going down, a couple more villages, and
Turk is going for 5 crossbows and 600 wood for more TPs, looking to get a stagecoach, although he doesn't quite have the resources for it. And just going for this Ulan crossbow composition, which does really well against spikes and crossbows, but Mitoe will get a unit shipment, and then I think it's enough to just hold that, right? Could be intervention, although no, because he doesn't have a consulate. Could be... Mitoe's trying to go industrial, actually, but I think he will just cancel his 1k gold at this point and get a unit shipment. No?
Just gonna go straight for the age up there, which could prove fatal, as aging is gonna take a long time. He's not gonna have any military units. Mind you, Turkey is backing off for the time being.
Have HP from Turk as well.
Wow, really staying in the Colonial here.
Well, he's aging actually, but yeah, he just felt like he could squeeze in that card just because when you research Stagecoach, you get a substantial amount of XP usually, and he just has shipments. Even though he shipped Cav HP, he has a shipment ready now, so he's fine. But it's actually funny. I mean, Turk just went back because obviously you expect China to ship units and just like you're like, okay, I'm not comfortable to keep pushing that. So he just got the market down, which is really not much. He does have a stagecoach behind, but I mean, Germany is aging up at more than 10 minutes, which is not something you want to happen usually. Mitoe popped the 1k gold safely in the back of that village here to make sure Turk could not see it. So he's actually going to really totally get away with industrial here.
Yeah. It looked quite dicey, right? I think Turk could have built up all those villages for a long time, but maybe he was expecting a military shipment, but because he didn't see it, Mitoe going to get up to the Fortress Age, Industrial Age, and now adding in a couple of walls here. I think, though, Turk suddenly, with these 2 arms strolling through the base, going to think, oh, goodness me, what have I done? As he sees that wonder is pretty much complete.
I was keeping a close eye on them, and I think looking at the line of sight they have now when they walk in the fog of war, I am quite confident they could barely not see the wonder. But it doesn't really matter because anyway, well, Mitoe is up now. So it's just rolling up a little bit, just making sure he doesn't just die now. And Turk got calf combat in, which is nice because he's got mostly Ulans, but also weird because he doesn't... Well, now, okay, the veterancy is coming in. But I mean... I don't know. That's not a lot of units for Turk. He's got 29 Ulans, but it's... Well, they have calf combat. I just mean that one big unit shipment from Mitoe could just totally hold that. Like the 18 Shengdaos maybe would be enough to hold that.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
There's a lot of cav.
Two flying crows?
No, they'll be okay. Veterancy just now in, and cav combat as well. So Mitoe is up against a lot of very, very powerful Ulans.
Yeah,
And,
double
he's
carded.
Something like Changdao for sure. Look at that War Academy going down very, very quickly. So not going to be able to train any more banner armies.
He's got the redcoats on the way though. 6 guard redcoats as his H4. So, you know, these guys alone are really strong against Ulans. And the chokes just make it so hard for the cav to push in. So Turk just deciding to not go in and delete his entire mass of cav. He might have been able to still get a good fight regardless of the chokes, but just Turk playing it safe. Like, okay, I'm sitting on 4 TP stagecoach. Do I really need to go in and fight now? I also got away with going cav HP, cav combat, so I can just keep training cav now and have a really powerful army. Like, just add war wagons or something, and they will be really strong. So I think it's kind of anyone's game at this point. On the one side, you got Mitoe with the H4 and the stronger units. I think it's fair to say they're stronger, even though the Ulans are double carded. Like China will get stronger H4 units, and Turk sitting with a superior eco with a stagecoach.
Yeah, Turk sitting on 4 TP stagecoach, and well, actually, it's even economic unit population when you click the recalculated button, so not too bad. But with the 4 TP stagecoach, yeah, he's got a pretty good economy there, and Mitoe's going to have to get out on the map and start dealing with that, especially since his hunt is about to run out there. And I don't necessarily think he wants to ship Sagia herd. It's not actually in his deck, so he won't be. Oh no, it is. It is in his deck.
He might do it, but right now I think he wants his powerful unit shipments. Exactly. He might ship it when he's out of them.
Because that's the one thing he's got going for him, right? This really powerful army, and he can't be wasting time shipping something that isn't military.
But meanwhile,
Turk industrial too.
Yeah, he's clicked up a couple seconds ago, and it's gonna give a window for Mitoe to just break the stagecoach. But then again, once Turk is industrial and he gets upgraded Ulans with the 2 cards on them, they're gonna be really strong. And he might even have... No, he does not have the Lipizan cavalry or whatever it's called that gives an extra 25% on EP on your Ulans, which would be a really good card to send when you have a lot of Ulans. But he does have the heavy cannon and the Polish winged hussars, which are really strong. So... But yeah, meanwhile, Mitoe is just gonna grab himself a bit of map control, grabbing a hunt and a gold mine with that village, getting 2 TPs down, and Turk just going in with the big counter raid there.
Here comes a lot of Ulans, although there's only 4 villas there. They're going to run away. That's interesting. Not into the village. They're going to just hope that they aren't spotted. And it looks like it will be successful. Turk now up to the industrial age, and Mitoe claiming a few of those trading posts as his own. Got one in construction now. The other he can move on to sort of shortly there. What then does Mitoe, how does he proceed from this position? Do you think he pushes, or is he now got to be wary that his opponent's industrial and a big shipment, 2 heavy cannons, something like that might come?
I think if Mitoe can get half of the TP line, he needs to do literally nothing besides defend, because China has a much better potential in the late game. They have more pop, 220. They have just stronger units overall than Germany. And also Germany with the 2 pop Ulans, very quickly is maxed to 200, so they can't really actually mass that much, right? Like you make 50 Ulans and that's it. You're like max pop kind of.
And the winged hussars arrived.
Yeah, but wouldn't heavy cannons be better? Because I mean, he's got double carded Uhlans, and he's got a lot of them. I'm not sure he needs more cavalry at this point.
Wait. I thought, do the cav combat
No.
cards not affect those hussars?
The only one would be cav attack, which he doesn't have in deck, because this team cav attack affects all cavalry in the game actually.
Right, but those
not the
two
other,
not
yeah.
affecting. Oh, that sucks. So yeah, it kind of makes sense if the cavalry upgrades are benefiting them, but not the case here. So yeah, I do see that a bit of
Yeah.
two heavy cannons would be
Especially because he's taking his Uhlans to guard now. So imagine, I mean, even to heavy cannons plus 4 Uhlans, even the 4 Uhlans from the heavy cannon shipment with the 2 cards on them and the guard upgrade are probably just as strong as a Polish Hussar, right? So even the 4 free Uhlans would be as valuable as 4 of the winged Hussars there. And then you just get 2 heavy cannons on top, which is just so good. So
Yeah.
I do feel like the shipment is maybe not the greatest, but then again, he might just ship heavy cannons after that anyway. So he's probably just planning to get boss of these super powerful unit shipments before taking a fight now. And Mitoe does need to upgrade it. He's upgrading now his skirms to guard. He has some
coming in
redcoats.
now, and he's got honored Changdao there, so they are pretty strong. But up against this like pure cav mass, well, not pure, but certainly a lot of it, he's going to need quite a lot of anti-cavalry. 2 heavy cannons now arriving, and that is one hell of a composition for Turk. The cannon's going to counter the Changdao, the cavalry, pretty much everything else. He's looking pretty solid there. Now moving forward, going to get those cannons into position. The Flying Crows might be able to get a volley off before they set up, though? Question mark. Doesn't look like Mitoe's quick enough, and those Flying Crows just sitting there.
What is going on? Oh no! I don't know. Let's see. The Flying Crows are really strong against artillery, so Mitoe really needs to focus the cannons, and yeah, he's doing it now, killing 1 Falcon. And the Uhlans, most of them not really fighting, so I don't know how well they're gonna perform here. More cannons going down. I think, regardless, Germany is just gonna crush this fight because his cav is so much more upgraded.
Yeah, and it looks like he's already done that. There's no counter cavalry left except a couple of muskets, and that heavy cannons firing volleys into what remains. What is stopping those cavalry from rushing onto the arquebusier and finishing them off? Looks like the final Flying Crow about to go down, and still an absolute bucket ton of cavalry, which will just pursue down the remainder of the arquebusier. Seriously. This is so pathetic. Doesn't look like Mitoe's too pleased with his performance there. And Turk going to take quite a convincing victory in this 5th and final game. Perhaps it will be 4-1.
Yeah, it is going to be 4-1. I don't see Mitoe coming back from that. Well, I mean, if he could just kill the entire army because Turk would take a terrible fight, Mitoe would come back. But I don't think it's actually possible to crush Turk's army at this point. I mean, the mass is so different now. Like, Turk is ahead by so much, and yeah, I don't think it's gonna be anything else than 4-1 at this point.
Yeah, I don't see where you come back from that.
Nah, yeah. I guess just make pure. I mean, as many metal hammers as possible. He's stacking them. No, he cancelled the. He's stacking iron flays? Wait. I don't know. Oh well. Either way, yeah, he can try to just go pure cav and take a fight. But then again, the German cav is usually not as good as the Chinese one. But now with all these upgrades on the Uhlans, I think they are really, really strong. So, yeah. And 1 heavy cannon is left as well. So yeah, not the greatest day for Mitoe for sure. And iamturk is gonna just bring a lot of points to his SKG team.
Yeah, yeah. The SKG look like they're on top form with Wicked Cossack winning earlier, and indeed Turk looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, definitely. Wait, no, my bad. iamturk is from the Nila Ninjas. I just realized it's not possible that Yeah, there was something
right.
wrong.
Well,
yeah, he's from the
I
Data
haven't-
Ninjas. But...
I didn't notice. I haven't been paying
Yeah,
super close attention. We've been quite
yeah, but I
busy
should
with
know.
the ECL and stuff.
But yeah, for sure. Oh, there you go, the
Hang
final
down there.
crash.
And
Kind
they
of-
are still guard, but with that heavy cannon in the back and some supporting skirmishers firing in, I don't think the Changdao will last too long. Besides, even if all those things weren't there, there's so much cavalry that I think they would win this purely on their own. But we do get to witness some guard units going at it. It's not often that you get to see those models, so it is quite beautiful. But Mitoe will call the GG there. And Turk does pick up the 4-1.
Yeah, indeed. So quite a convincing victory here from iamturk, and Mitoe not too pleased about his performance in this series. Was an interesting build in this last game from Germany. Not sure it would win against just a standard fortress play. You know, like the industrial kind of gave more time to Turk to just take up his cav, get a stagecoach, and just follow up to industrial himself. While Mitoe, if he just would have gone for a standard H3 play, I think he would have just won. He would have just won. I mean, like, look at the age of times. Germany aged up 2 minutes later than China. So I feel like China could have just played it out in Fortress and win. But, well, either way, it was an interesting game.
Yeah.
That fight was... Sorry, go ahead.
It was a game, that's for sure. But that military unit graph does not look too good for Mitoe.
Yeah, definitely not. That fight was brutal. Partly because of the unit composition. So Mitoe having just a lot of skirms, and the skirms didn't really do anything against any of Turk's units. And partly because all these Ulans were so upgraded. So yeah, that just was a one-sided fight. And was pretty much GG at this point. So,
my announcement. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
about
there
that.
you go now.
All right. Well, I've managed to track down a certain caster. Do you want to take a guess?
To track down.
It was. It took a few months to get a hold of this guy, but I have done it.
Zuta, then.
It is Zuta. Zuta will be casting a Sunday SmackDown, which I will either be casting on Escape, my own personal channel, or indeed this channel right here on ESOC. I have not decided which one of those three yet, but we will be casting a good old SmackDown again, a best of 7. I'll also be recording another podcast with him, but we'll do that one live, and I'll also have it edited like usual and put on the YouTube channel. But we'll do the podcast first. I imagine that'll take about an hour. And then we'll do SmackDown, which I'll allow 2 hours for. But yeah, really excited to get Zuta back and have a chat with him. I've not spoken to him literally since we began at Escape, when we recorded that last podcast about 9 months ago now. He seems to be a very busy fellow, a very elusive man. But yeah, should be good to have him back. For a little bit doing some casting. I do need to find some players though, which is why I was reluctant to announce it. Sorry, my housemates are talking and I wondered what they were saying. I haven't found players yet, but I will be doing that tomorrow. So yes, whilst you're here, Kaiser, would you be interested in playing?
Yeah, always.
Cool. And
So why not?
maybe I'll find it. I might not necessarily. I'll try and I'll see who's available and pick the 2 most evenly matched people I can find. I think is a good plan. But yeah, looking forward to that, and hope you guys.
Yeah, that's pretty cool then. If Zuta can come back to cast a bit like good old times, it's gonna be nice. And all right then. I guess it's the end for us. There is no more series, and yeah.
Yeah, I told you guys it wasn't a big deal. I shouldn't have even.
No, I think it's fine. I think people are going to be exciting to see Zuta cast again with you.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I was planning to just post it on ESOC, like just out of the blue. But no, it was. I suppose whilst I'm here, I ought to let everyone know. Yeah, so let me link my personal channel then, just in case it is streamed on there. But whatever happens, it will be on my YouTube channel, which I don't think I need to link. But yeah, here's my Twitch channel. Cool.
All right then. Well, thanks to you guys for watching. We will have more games not too soon, but we are going to start the. Well, actually, probably there will be myself against Raphael tomorrow, and then there will be more games in the end of the week 3 of the EPL. So this was week 2. I do believe Nila Ninjas are now ahead in the score board. Mitoe is inviting me to a weird game. And anyway, yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the series. Thanks, Interjection, for hopping in and co-casting with me.
Oh, it was good fun.
And see you guys.